Take my land.
7 p.m. Planning Commission agenda of meeting on November 24th, 2025. Call to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
October 27th?
Well, we got to approve the agenda today. November.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
the agenda, November 24th. And
Second that.
Awesome.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So that's approved. Second item is approval of the minutes October 27th. I wasn't here. So, it's something that the motion to approve that.
I will approve the minutes from October 27th.
Consent, yeah.
second.
Second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, that's approved. First item, public hearing, looks like it's the Wilkerson's property. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, thank you, Chair, members of the commission. The first public hearing we have this evening is for a front yard setback variance at 5995 Loring Drive. The applicants are working on a remodel project, and part of the project includes looking for a covered front entry. However, given the proximity of the existing house to the roadway, it's already within the front setback. So in order to build the front porch as they would like, it's within the setback. We don't give an exception to covered front porches, only if they're uncovered. So thusly, we needed the variance here. In your packet, as I always do, I outline the standard criteria for you to consider the variances. Certainly feel this project is consistent with those criteria and meets all of them. So I won't go into great detail unless there's questions about that. We did send out our public notice and we did not get any written comments or oral comments regarding the request. So with that being said, the Planning Commission should hold the required hearing, give anyone the opportunity here to speak, and then close that hearing and then discuss amongst yourself before making a recommendation to the City Council. In this case, staff would recommend the Planning Commission consider a recommendation of approval based on the findings in your staff report and subject to the conditions, I think 1 through 4. Yep, 9 and 10, yep.
Okay, let's open the vote here. Anybody here to speak on that property that's not property owned? Okay. Close the public hearing, since no one raised their hands. I'd like to hear from the property owners if they have anything to tell us about the property. See if the commissioners have any questions. So the name and address, please.
Anna Wilkerson, 5995 Loring Drive. We have a remodel which includes an addition that is going through the process or has been to the city for approval. Most of it is within the setbacks, but the porch is not.
Right.
Our current home, it had an addition done in 1990, long before we had it. And that part of the house is already on top of the setback. So the porch that we are asking for is behind that. So that makes sense. I think the plan in fact did show that, the kind of the red portion was penciled in.
In terms of the,
Yep, there it is.
there, yep.
So the existing home shows what it is. You can see that that frontmost portion is already on top of the setback. Or whatever it is, what. But the red portion is what the covered porch is, and that is the part that would be on. So anything else the building is split into that.
Commissioners, would you like to ask questions? Nope.
I saw the property and it makes sense.
Are there any other,
There's no threat to anybody, neighbor that I can see.
do you think there's any other reason you would need a variance for any other part of the model or to explain anything else?
No.
No? All right.
Neighbors
Talk
will
to
learn.
neighbors. I was gonna say, okay, perfect.
I've shown them.
Awesome. Well, I'm
We are
good.
friends.
I don't think we have any questions. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, we'll discuss. So if anybody have any objections,
No, I'm not a single.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
would anybody like to make a recommendation?
Oh my gosh, no. I was not. Alright, I move that we approve the variance of 5995 Loring Drive in Minnetrista, Minnesota. And, what do you say with those numbers?
It's-
Just with the conditions that we've outlined.
Effective, with the conditions 1 through 4.
With conditions 1 through 4.
Okay. So we have a motion to recommend to City Council approval of 5995 Long Drive to reduce the setback from 35 to 28.9, correct? On that. We have a second?
Second.
Hand raised.
Oh,
So 28.9, that is very exact. If it's 28, well, let's say it's 29, if something varies to that degree, is that a problem?
do we,
Well, 29 would be better, so you'd be fine.
If it's 28.6,
do we want
28 even. Is what you're saying.
we're aiming for we're aiming,
Right.
this is the best one.
to, and that's,
Right, I mean, that's based on the information submitted, so, I mean,
do we want to, I mean, and I'm perfectly
With
fine.
a tolerance of plus or minus a foot or.
but I mean, we don't, I mean, unless you like to require an as-built, I mean, if they show proposed compliance, it would be approved.
Yeah, then we're fine. They allow for a little bit.
Good question.
So do I have a second? Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that passes.
So that's a recommendation. It'll be forwarded to the city council on December 8th for final action. So it'll be on, probably on the consent. You probably don't have to plan to attend. So
And you don't have to stick around.
And you're free to leave if you'd like.
Can you tell us about item?
Sure. Let me pull it up here. So the second public hearing tonight is a setback variance, lakeshore and side yard at 5415 Cedar Point Road. Another situation here where applicants are remodeling their property and the current structure is not compliant with regards to the setbacks. The need for variance here is to correct the existing roof pitch and have a more aesthetic and functional appeal from both the lake and from other adjacent properties. Again, outlined in your staff report is the standard variance criteria, which we do feel this request complies with. Seems pretty straightforward. We did send out our notices and we did hear verbally from one resident in support of the applicant's request. So with that being said, again, hold the required hearing. And then close said hearing and discuss amongst yourself. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, the findings of fact for a recommendation of approval are outlined in your staff report, as well are the recommended conditions added to said approval. So
Let's open the public hearing. B. Anyone other than the property owner here to speak on it? Public hearing. Commissioner, you can take over the property owner. Pretty straightforward. Property is built in 1920. The porch, the back standard over there, it's still not timely. I didn't have any other issues.
And this has really come about just because that the edge of the house is within 50 feet of the water.
yeah,
They're not really doing anything to go closer to the water.
no, it's basically
So
memorializing existing conditions because of the change in the elevation. It's ever so slight change. If you look at the elevation drawings, there's really minimal increase in the building height, but because there is technically an increase, we have to go through this process.
Yeah. Probably the only concern I had was just to ask them, or at least ask the property owner if they were making sure that the contractor was doing mitigation to make sure that they didn't have runoff.
I mean, they're complying with all the hard cover and such, so.
you think like a silk fence or something?
Just just to make sure that, like, you know, like, we know construction debris or anything like that. That comes around,
I could speak, they're very neat neighbors.
yeah.
I could testify.
I mean, that's the contract.
There won't be any mess, that's for sure.
Any other concerns?
No.
No? All right. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'd make a motion that we approve the variance request for 5415 Cedar Point Road. And we'll recommend, we have,
Yeah.
and the guidelines 1 through 4 on the motion.
Is it 1 through 4?
Mhm.
That's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Same situation. This is a recommendation. It'll go on December 8th before the city council for final action. I would also say you don't have to plan on attending. It'll probably be on consent agenda. So, all right. Yeah, you're very welcome. Have a good evening.
All right. One more?
One more.
Conditional use.
We're on the rolls.
Correct. Yes.
7:30, so.
Lightning good?
Yes. Thank you, Chair, members of the commission. The last item, public hearing on your agenda is for a conditional use permit to allow for a guest home over 1,000 square feet at 7655 County Road 15. When guest homes exceed either 30% of the primary dwelling or 1,000 square feet, a conditional use permit is required. So we are going through those motions. In your staff report, we have outlined the standard criteria for which to consider a conditional use permit. And when looking at these factors, if there's anything of concern, that's where you would add then a condition to the approval to mitigate those concerns in any manner. However, with this guest house in the large lot, it seems relatively pretty straightforward from a guest home standpoint. So I certainly think that all the criteria for a guest home have been satisfied. It's been carefully designed to match the primary structure on the property. There are conditions attached to the approval relative to those standards. Pretty straightforward from a guest home CUP. Nothing abundantly out of the ordinary. The only thing would be it did look like there was a deck shown on the guest house. And depending on the height of the deck, that would need to meet the required building setback. But if it's less than 30 inches, we typically treat that more like a patio, just with the low elevation. So that'd be something they need to consider when looking at the project. But other than that, seems pretty straightforward. We sent out our required notices and have not heard from any neighbors regarding this request. And like I said, certainly feel it satisfies the guest home standards and intent of the city ordinance. So with that said, the recommendation would be for approval, subject to the conditions 1 through 10 with there. So yep, hold the hearing as required and look for a motion.
And when the application in, they did confirm that they're not deciding the election.
Right. Right. Yep. And also that's a condition of the approval as well.
And does that mean that they, in the future, never go?
I mean, unless city ordinance changes, in which case it would probably be some form of a subdivision, would be what probably would prompt them to be able to convey it separately. So that we'd have to review that. It would come through you guys as the commission and through the city council.
This is if they sold the house.
In the future, if they were to pursue some sort of subdivision that city ordinance would permit, otherwise they can't convey it separately. There's no way to do so.
You can't convey, can't separate.
Right.
It's essentially one.
Right. Right.
I just had a question just from learning this year and past examples where there's different requirements around, I would call it like not a full kitchen if you were doing that above your garage, things like that. Is there anything when it's a standalone versus above an existing structure like a garage, which is like limiting how you can build out the,
No, I mean,
so you could do a full.
and that's the reason for the guest home is when you have the full everything that becomes a dwelling unit for the city ordinance, and that's why we're going.
If it's on top of a garage.
No, it depends on the amenities you provide. So if you're not providing a full kitchen, full bathroom, full everything, then it's technically not considered a dwelling unit. So like the one on Hardscrabble is what I think you're referring to. That didn't have the full amenities to be considered a dwelling unit.
They're on septic.
Here they're on septic, yes, and they're allowed to have a separate septic system, so.
Oh, they're allowed to get consult with Hennepin County?
They certainly do. That's part of the approval is the, obtaining all necessary permits and approvals, which is number 7. So Hennepin County would have to approve all that. And we wouldn't issue a permit without proof of at least a septic review from Hennepin County.
Do you usually have separate cooking like that too, for heat? Because that's not a yes, right? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they would have to, that's a private utility, so, yeah. Yeah.
Not related.
Yeah.
Private well, septic and propane. Okay, awesome. All right, well, I don't have any questions, so I'm gonna open up the public hearing.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
So open up the public hearing. Anyone here to speak other than the property owners? Obviously not. Public hearing.
Peace.
Um,
We don't let the property owner speak. Public hearing?
do you want to? No, you don't have to. So, I'm just trying.
It looks like a great place to live.
Yeah.
Nice improvements.
Can I be a relative?
I mean, I think very reasonable. It's a big property. I think it's very generous and we'd love to support the public, especially for while you're using it. So, it seems great.
So, I mean, everything seems pretty straightforward, all the setbacks apply, everything's straightforward. Do you guys have any questions I'll go through? Go straightforward.
We have a motion?
Let's see. Large, obviously, super large lot. It's for family, so it's, yeah, let's make a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for conditional use permit for the guest home at 7655 County Road 15 to be guided by the conditions 1 through, is it 10?
10, yep.
1 through 10.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, and that's been recommended to the council.
All right, same thing, December 8th, city council. Again, probably need to plan on attending. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you. All right, number 3 on the agenda is staff reports.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot for you guys. One thing I did want to bring up is, as we're looking at the calendar for 2026, I know city council's moved their start time up to 6:30. And wanted to bring that up if that's something the planning commission would be okay with. Just for consistency purposes, I know sometimes people come here at 7 and then they end up being a little bit later to the council because they assume everything starts at 7. Is there any issues with if we do go down that route of a 6:30 start time?
No, the only question that I had is when we have the back-to-back with parks.
Well, the parks would, I was just gonna follow up with, that would probably start at 5:30. Would probably be the,
Has it ever gone more than 15 minutes?
well, I mean, we could keep it that way. I just would maybe like to give us at least a little bit of time in case, I mean, no, they usually don't take very long, but I have had them at times take closer to an hour. So, is there any issues with that?
Well, 5:45 is a little bit better, just trying to at least, probably you're in the same boat of juggling
For traffic,
family,
yeah.
kids, and
Okay.
days, homework and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, it's something we're considering. I just wanted to run it by you guys to see if there was any immediate issues with any of that. So that's good information. Thank you. The only other thing I have is obviously we don't have a meeting in December. So enjoy the holidays the rest of the year. We will have a meeting 4th Monday in January. So that'll be our next one, first one of the year. I don't think anyone here's term is up.
So I said.
No. Tricia and Sarah. So we'll get working on them to see if they're intent on coming back. And then I guess the only other thing, Peter might touch on it, is the tree lighting is the December 4th, right? Thursday, the holiday tree lighting. So feel free to attend if you can. But yeah, that's all I have.
Oh, somebody-
Yep, you're up. That's all I got. Pass the torch.
Well, yeah, the tree lighting is, has anybody been to it before?
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. They have all sorts of public works vehicles there, and the kids have a great time. And they also have wine and beer, so parents have a great time. And there'll be fireworks, and then
Amazing fire truck. Honest God, never seen a fire truck like it.
you gotta see it. And then yeah, we'll end with fireworks and lighting the tree, of course. So a lot of people show up. So
What time is it?
it starts at 5 o'clock, I think. Better check that, but I think that's right. Yeah. So that'll be really fun. So good way to end the year. Now, as far as the city council, at our last meeting, we approved the contract with AES, which is an engineering firm that will oversee the construction of the water treatment plants. So that's moving ahead, so that decided that that's going to start this spring. So that was a big thing. We also completed a study of the storm water retention ponds and kind of picked out ones that seemed to be the most in need of digging out and refurbishing. So I will start working on that too.
Is that gonna be enforceable to the subdivisions?
Well, I was going to try and skip over that point. Yeah, it's a real problem because some of the earlier subdivisions or communities didn't have in their requirement from the city that they be responsible for the digging out and maintaining those ponds. You have to do every 10 or 15 years. So I think what we're kind of heading towards is, we need to do it. I mean, it's impairs the lake,
Yeah.
So what we're thinking of doing is maybe paying for those that's questionable or we just can't figure it out. Do it one time and then try to negotiate that, hey, you guys.
If they accept this, they would have to accept the new terms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
makes sense.
So, and then another course we're thinking of too would be maybe to do it kind of like we do with road improvements, where we assess the people in the area for the improvement at some percentage of the total project. And that's kind of problematic because it's a little hard to know who's draining into that system. So anyway, yeah, it's a real thorny issue, and that's why it's taken so long to really get to it. But now we have good information on all of the storm water ponds out there. So that's a big thing. We have settled on the increase in the water rates for next year. That's of course part of covering the new water treatment plant and the wells. So
Is that retention pond report available to the public yet? Or to staff at least?
yeah.
I guess I haven't seen it, so I guess.
Oh,
But that doesn't mean it.
the city engineer
Yeah.
showed it to us.
Okay, Allison might have it.
Yeah,
Then,
so
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
I'll give you a call next week about maybe holiday.
Mhm.
Um,
Could check with Allison too from WSB.
Yeah, so I think that's about it. We did talk about their two properties in the city that become collections of various things that they consider valuable, but maybe the rest of us don't. And so that's been a lesson, because if we move to clean it up ourselves, it costs a fortune, and we probably never get it back. And then they have more space, and they might start collecting again. So we decided we'd give them about a 6-month window to really make improvement of clearing out the properties, and then decide, do we want to go ahead with enforcement action? And it's a tough situation because we don't want to spend the money to do that, but at the same time, you can't, let those kind of things fester definitely, and don't want to encourage other people to head down that path. So yeah, I think those are the main things.
We really appreciate you coming out and sharing that information with us.
Oh, yeah, welcome. Yeah, it's fun to see you guys doing this. As you probably know, the city council takes your work very seriously. And so it's very rare that I don't think I've ever had a meeting where they challenge, what you guys said. So I really appreciate what all you do.
And Peter, he sat with me on the planning commission
Yeah.
for like 6 years before he went to the council.
Mhm.
Yeah, or maybe longer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, 7, but yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, it's really good training for the council because you do get a feel for, how the city's set up and the geography of the city and at least the rules on that part. There's a lot more, but that's a really good foundation. So keep it in mind if you want to keep expanding your political.
We have not seen a concept yet, so no, it has not.
Yeah, I'm eager
They
to see.
send their feedback.
Yeah, that's right. I just didn't know if there was like an interim where they also kind of went, didn't know how that. So curious about.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that.
Hope you have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Are you traveling for Thanksgiving?
No, we're going to go out to a restaurant. Thank you.
All right, well, we get to that time, adjournment. Anybody like to make a motion?
We'll adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. You're adjourned.
Man, it's such a-
Wow, you guys are efficient. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.